everyone, and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, where we watch every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I'm Sean.
I'm Tennille.
And today we are looking at the 1972 film, The Three Musketeers in Boots.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely, absolutely what this movie is.
It's been called... It has multiple names. It's also just called, like, The Return of Puss in Boots.
Yeah, it's like Puss in Boots 2, The Return or something.
It's also been called Ringo Goes West.
Here, the official Japanese title for it, I have the movie pulled up here, is Puss in Boots 2, Return of Perro.
Yeah.
Which Perro is the name of Puss.
Mm-hmm. But it also... the Japanese name is called something along the lines of The Three Musketeers in Boots.
Okay.
Like that's what it translates to.
Okay. Which makes no sense because this movie's a Western.
It's a Western, and
there are no Three Musketeers at all.
No, there are no Three Musketeers.
Like, at best you get like 2.5.
Who's the half?
Annie?
Oh, I was gonna say our half is our
Perro?
lead, Perro. But no, another name for this film is Ringo Goes West.
Okay.
Because they rename him here in America Ringo, apparently.
Alright. Well, this is a film. Do you want me to go over the plot?
Go ahead.
Alright, so Perro is back from his first excursion in his actual story as Puss in Boots. So now he is out west, and he is...
For some reason.
He's just in the North American...
West.
Wild West.
Uh-huh.
And the three cats, the Three Stooges, the not Beagle Boys, the Kitty Boys, are still chasing him, and hijinks ensue throughout the course of the movie, but they're relatively unimportant, all things considered.
It's just a running gag that they kept from the first movie, that kind of thing.
Either way, Perro is riding on top of a carriage with this random kid named Jimmy, who's kind of his friend, buddy. He's kind of like this country bumpkin kid, just kind of joins him.
Looks way too similar to the kid from the first movie. If they don't want him to not be that kid.
It's not the same kid.
It's not the same kid, but he looks way too similar.
This kid seems to have a little more character than the guy from the first movie.
Yeah.
Either way, they're going to a town where turns out there's a group of outlaws that are just killing every sheriff that gets appointed. So no one wants to be sheriff anymore, and this seems bad. There's also a young girl on the stagecoach. Her name is Annie, and she was coming home because her dad owns a local bar, I think. Restaurant. Either way, he's dead now.
Yep.
Found in his hand is a Mexican dollar. And they're like, that seems interesting, and it was quickly taken away by the outlaws that are running the town. They're like, I smell a mystery going on.
Yeah, so this is like a Western mystery.
It's like, what's going on?
The mystery is about as deep as Puddle, but you know.
So, to make Annie feel better, and for some reason they want Annie to leave the town, the bad guys.
Yeah, because they think she'll figure it out, even though, like...
She does nothing.
Even though it's like, I feel like they've pretty much... Like, yeah, there's a little bit of intrigue here, but there's just not enough information for her to go off of.
Either way, she stays in town. She renovates whatever building her dad owned, whether it's a bar or whatever, and now it's a restaurant.
A tavern.
It's now a restaurant. And it looks real hokey. Well, that doesn't matter because the bad guys come in and they trash the place. And it bums her out, and they rebuild it anyways. Also, I should mention that there's just a mice companion.
Oh, of course.
And not just one, an entire tribe of Native American mice.
Yeah.
It's like cool. On the offensive level, it's really fairly minor.
I mean, it's like...
It's nowhere near as bad as Lucky Luke was just a couple movies ago.
Exactly.
That was terrible. It's like, is this okay?
Because we just watched Lucky Luke, I'm like, alright, this is fine. But, like, it's still not fine, but, like...
It's
Oh well,
closer.
here I am.
Either way, while this is all going on, Pero sneaks around and he discovers that in the basement of a different building, the bad guys have been minting fake Mexican dollars. So that's what they're trying to cover up by killing everybody. They're making fake money that they're going to profit. Fake money, that's what you do. I don't know.
They're making counterfeit money. Okay.
All right. So the money is being raced out of town in a wagon. There's a lot of hijinks that go on in this whole section. Pero stops the wagon. Hijinks ensue. In the meantime, Jimmy's back in town with Annie, and it turns out Jimmy...
Wait. You didn't tell us, like, anything about Jimmy.
He's boring. He sits around, he plays the banjo.
But he also volunteers to be sheriff and then immediately gets bullied by the...
Oh, yeah.
outlaws?
He's like, what if I was sheriff? And the outlaws are just like, oh, yeah? Well, and then they, like, do the thing where they shoot at his feet and stuff like that.
And he's like, no, I'm a coward.
I'm a coward. I'll never pretend to be sheriff again.
Yeah.
Well, here in the final part, he's like, spoilers, I'm really the sheriff.
Spoilers?
And I have been the whole time. I was just undercover. And I'm like, okay, someone must have known he was the sheriff because someone from the town must have appointed him sheriff.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I
the
feel
plot
like
point, but okay, sure.
It makes me think that the writing is not so good, and or like he's not a sheriff. He's just like an undercover government agent coming into this town to fix things up. I don't know. I really don't care because.
But Jimmy suddenly gets 10 million awesome points.
And he shoots all the bad guys dead. Yeah. No, seriously, they're dead now.
He has got a kill streak.
He kills everyone, even the big bad guy who is holding Annie. He does the trope where he gets shot in the chest, but he is saved by the fake Mexican dollars he had in his shirt pocket.
Yep.
It's like the cross, the Bible, the coins.
Whatever.
This is such a Wild West trope. He survives, and he shoots the bad guy dead. And then he and Pero ride off into the sunset in different directions, and not even in the sunset, it's midday. And he goes to the Alamo, and Pero goes... Colorado? I don't remember what the sign says. He goes elsewhere.
Yeah.
But like...
So Jimmy's dead.
Jimmy goes to the Alamo. Hey, just because he's going to the Alamo doesn't mean he's there when the actual battle goes down.
If you have somebody in a Western say they're going to the Alamo, that means they're dead.
Okay. And... Annie is going to stay there and run her restaurant and stuff.
Yep. The end.
The end.
So you'll notice we barely talked about Pero at all. Just because Pero's like...
a non-character.
Yeah, like he does stuff, but he's very much like the sidekick in this movie.
Mm-hmm. It's the kind of thing where he's kind of doing stuff, but while he's on screen fumbling around, Jimmy is actually... running around in the background.
He's the one actually progressing things.
Yeah,
Pero's just like doing wacky hijinks with characters.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because Pero was like the most interesting character in his first movie.
Yeah. And then he was just kind of shoved into this Western story about these two characters that he has nothing to do with.
Yeah, it's like you could easily remove Pero.
And the three cats and the mice. And the movie would stay pretty much identical.
Mm-hmm. It'd be shorter.
Significantly shorter.
And it's already only an hour long. So that's probably why Pero's in here. I mean, no, Pero's in here because they want to like...
the iconography.
They want to keep the branding. I know we have another Puss in Boots movie to look forward to.
Yes.
I think in 76 is when that one comes out.
Not sure.
I really hope it's more of a return to form to the first movie, because I wasn't a big fan of this. I was pretty bored through most of it. it wasn't like bad. I was just bored.
Not a whole lot happens.
Yeah.
I will say thank you, Yugo Kagami, for finding this movie for us so that we could watch it in the first place.
Yeah. And there's not a whole lot to say about this one production-wise either. With it being a Western, I think this one was intended more for a
general audience instead of just a Japanese audience?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Like, I don't have anything that actually confirms that. Yet again, it sounds like Hayao Miyazaki did a promotional manga for this when it came out. Yada, yada, yada. The whole spiel and dance. Like...
It is a Toei film through and through.
Yeah, it's a Toei film that they spent, a some amount of money on, and they had Miyazaki do comics to promote it, and there's some parts that are cute and fun and interesting, and then other times where it's just kind of dull and boring, and you've seen this trope a million times if you've watched any other Toei films.
I will say that the finale was not just a single set piece that went on for 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're getting better at cutting down on the fight scenes.
And when they do have the fight scenes, like, the location changes dramatically throughout the course of it. Because we had both the town and also the wagon fight going on at about the same time.
Yeah. I guess I want to rephrase that. The pace of the fight scenes is a lot better. Because, like, it still goes on for way too long, but it's at least changing things up so you're not going like, all right, wrap this up. Because as you could tell as when Sean went through the story, like, it's a really simple story. And there's a decent amount of just, like, fighting shenanigans going on throughout pretty much the entire thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. Alright, so, next time, here on Animation Pilgrimage...
Do you remember what it is?
We have,
It's a dog.
Right, I totally blanked.
I see that. You're, like, staring at me, and I'm like, I always do this, so I'm going to see if you can come up with the next film.
I'm about ready to go do research for this movie, and I'm like, what was... We already watched it. I'm like, what is the movie I don't remember? Snoopy Come Home.
Yes.
So, wow, that already gives you a first impression.
We're going back to the Peanuts.
Yep. See you guys then.
こいつはイカスって素敵だぜ西部の街の白いレストラン花の模様の手